So let's do a very quick minor service on this Porsche Boxster 718. We will be doing filter changes on this vehicle. If you are somebody who's not patient, I recommend you do not work on Porsche. This car needs patience. So we ordered all of our parts from Porsche and collected them from the dealership, and these are the parts that we got. It was a oil filter housing seal, as well as a sun plug washer and a sun plug, and the original oil filter from Porsche, as well as the new air filter. When you're doing a minor service, you don't need to change your air filter, but I always recommend to replace your air filter. To change the air filter, we'll have to put the roof on service mode. When you put the roof on service mode, you have to open it at least 40%. This is what it should look like. Open it partially. After opening the roof, remove these seat vents so that you can access behind the seat and pull the cables that I'll show you shortly so that you can put the roof on service mode. This is the first cable that you'll have to remove from its ball joint so that you can put the roof on service mode. This is the second cable that you'll have to remove from its ball joint to put the roof on service mode. Once both cables are out, you'll be able to pick up that lid. Picking up the lid will expose this cover. This carpet cover will have to be removed in order to access the air filter. Once it has been removed, the next step is to remove this insulator cover that sits over the engine cover. Once the insulator cover has been removed, you will need a T30 to remove the engine cover. You'll have to be patient because the engine cover has a couple of bolts. This is what all of your bolts, when they are removed, should look like. Once all of the bolts are removed, gently remove the engine cover from the vehicle, ensuring you do not scratch the vehicle in the process. Once cover is removed, the airbox will be exposed. You will need a T27 to remove all 4 screws from the airbox in order to access the air filter. My beautiful followers, please remember to vote for me for the SASMA Awards by SMSing SASMA 102 to the number 44850. Once all screws are out, gently lift the airbox cover to access the air filter. You will need a screw to pry out the air filter. Look at how dirty that air filter is. Always ensure that you inspect the airbox housing, as sometimes grime and buildup of dirt can accumulate in the airbox. Look at how dirty this air filter is. A clean air filter means clean air in the vehicle. Always try to use compressed air to clean the airbox housing. Ensure you cover the air duct hose so that all of the dirt that you are cleaning away does not go into the intake manifold of the vehicle. Also try and clean the crevices of the roof mechanism. Try and minimize abnormal wear and tear on the roof of the vehicle. Once all that's said and done, put back the air filter just like how you got it out. Ensure you align all of the screws of the air filter housing cover so that you do not have any air leaks. Once you've aligned all of your screws, then you can start to screw it down with your T27 screwdriver. Once all of your screws are on, you can now put back the cover because the job is done. I always prefer to start with the air filter as it is one of the most biggest jobs and most delicate jobs to do on the Porsche Boxster 718. Once the cover is on, always drive all of your bolts with your hand first to ensure that you do not cross thread your bolts. Once you've got enough thread on all of your bolts, you can start tightening them down with the ratchet to manufacturer specification. Once all of your bolts are tight, you can put on the insulator pad to minimize the engine noise and the engine heat. Always ensure you put back everything correctly as it should be so that you do not disturb the roof movement and how the roof works on the vehicle. Once the insulator is on the vehicle, you can start putting back the last cover. Also ensure it is put back to manufacturer specification so that the roof does not operate in a way that will hinder its perfect maneuverability, whatever that word is. But ensure that you put back your carpet or cover the correct way so that your roof works perfectly fine. Once all of your covers are on, it is now time to put back the roof to its standard position. Ensure that those two cables are put back on their ball joints so that the vehicle's roof can be out of service mode. The cable that I'm currently holding now works as your bonnet shock. In this case, it will be your roof lid shock because it holds your lid up during service mode. Once you have tucked it away, you can just push back the lid down as easy as that. Once you've pushed down your roof lid, you can now lower the roof a little bit so that you can pop back those two cables on their ball joints. It will take a little bit of strength and a little bit of effort to properly secure the cables on their ball joints. Once the cables are nicely secured, we can now jack the vehicle up to a nice and comfortable working height. We can drain the oil and also inspect the suspension of the vehicle. Remember, servicing your vehicle is also a way of preventative maintenance. To drain the oil on this vehicle, we will need this Allen key. When working on high performance vehicles, I always like to keep a bucket underneath so that I can inspect the oil after the service. Because just like your spark plugs, oil tells a story as well. We'll be able to see if there is any internal damage within the engine by inspecting the oil, and be able to see how much oil was in the vehicle as well. Next, we will be preparing our sump plug washer and our sump plug. Always ensure that you always put a new sump plug washer on your sump plug after removing it. Always remember to torque your sump plug to manufacturer specification. Clean around the sump plug. The last piece of the puzzle will be the oil filter. You have to be really patient when removing this oil filter because there is no space. Some technicians prefer to remove the drive shaft in order to have better access to the oil filter. In this video, I'll be showing you a much easier way to access the oil filter. Number one, you will have to remove this 10mm nut so that the stabilizer link can swing all the way to the bottom and you can have better access to the oil filter. You will also need one of these cups in order to turn the oil filter housing to access the oil filter. Remember, it is a tight squeeze. You have to be patient. There are a lot of electrical connectors, so you cannot rush. Otherwise, you will end up damaging a lot of components. Once your oil filter is out, it should look a little bit something like this. This looks like it hasn't been changed in a while. Once your oil is drained, oil filter changed, air filter changed, suspension checked, coolant concentration checked, you can now drop the vehicle and test the roof of the vehicle to see if it's operating properly, and now top up the oil after a successful oil change. Remember, a serviced vehicle is a reliable vehicle. The oil has been topped up, This vehicle is ready for the road. Thank you for trusting Mambo Repairs, and remember to vote for us for the SASMA Awards.